Welcome back to this segment. This is the discussion segment on Global Morning Weekend. I told you it's one conversation you won't want to miss on this particular segment of Global Morning. And today, let's talk about the young minds. What's happening around us? What's happening in Nigeria? What's happening across the world? Because we have a lot of people venturing into business, but do they know how to manage their funds? You know how to put their thoughts together? That's one conversation. I just sat and I felt it was time to have the conversation and discuss with an expert who will bring us up to speed with all of the happenings and how entrepreneurs who are young Nigerians, which makes the large population to understand the pathway and how to venture into business and sustain and keep their finances running. So don't feel bad. Who told me to put my hand inside this kind of thing? But all of that is all we're bringing to you. But let's tell you, we're looking at building financial stability for entrepreneurs and Nigerian youths. And let's give you a breakdown to all of this conversation before I bring you who my guest is. But let's guide you through what an entrepreneur is, or who rather an entrepreneur is, because a lot of people will say, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm asking them, do you even know what an entrepreneur is? They don't know, but let's guide you. Entrepreneurship, let's walk you through that, their bits. And joining me to have this conversation is a financial expert who understands all of this drive and how the Nigerian youths can jump on opportunities and look at the way forward. And I have in person, is an international business developer who has undergone a lot of hustle as a young man, who is still very young. I saw sometimes he's a young man, forgets the... Well, that's all that. I also have he's a founder of Winning Edge Movement. He's one person who likes to build young minds, who likes to put people out and tell them, you have a talent, why not build on it? In person of Ambassador Peter Modupe. He's the person who will be speaking to us and guiding you. It's good to have you in the studio.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
I don't know if it's a coincidence. When I saw you wearing white, I was like, did we dream about this thing? Now we have to wear white.
Maybe we planned it.
We planned it. Maybe because I want to tap into the wealth of getting plenty money. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for obliging to join me on this conversation. But let's look at this. You know, like I said, we have the Nigerian population who are under 35.
Okay.
And there's a whole lot of people who just want to do business because the labor market, I like to call it favor market, is not really favorable to young people. People don't just feel the income I get is not giving me the vibe or the lifestyle I want to live. So for you who's been through life, let's put it that way, so young people will get to connect with what you're going to guide us through. Let's walk through it. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur and to build capacity? Let's start with that first.
Okay, all right. So thank you so much, Global TV. Okay, so and I'm glad to be here. Now, first of all, I believe in Nigeria, and I believe that entrepreneurship is what we're going to use to change this country. I have a dream, and that dream is the Nigeria of my dream is an industrialized, innovative, producing and wealthy nation.
Okay.
A nation where we produce what we consume and consume what we produce.
Okay.
A prosperous nation with world's most sophisticated infrastructures. A nation where poverty, unemployment and diseases is eliminated. Okay. My sister, the way forward is entrepreneurship. All right. So now, you see, we have a problem at hand right now. The young folks constitute a chunk in the whole population space.
Yeah.
And we are producing them, okay? That's under 35, right? We need to start businesses at an explosive rate. And lack of this scenario has constituted to a lot of instabilities,
okay,
in that space. An entrepreneur is a risk taker.
Okay.
If we want to change Nigeria, we need to encourage our young people to toe that line.
Right.
Looking at me for like my journey, I actually started early, in the Dangote space.
Okay.
I got a license as a Dangote distributor, and I ventured into the deep,
Okay.
knowing fully well that I am supposed to be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Okay.
So when we encourage our young people to pursue toe the line of entrepreneurship, we can be able to create jobs and solve the impending doom about to happen.
All right. Well, but I like the fact that you are giving us a background, because that is the major focus, which I want to draw most young people to look at it. But let's explore the financial stability, which really is a focus. Why does it remain a challenge for young people to find who are entrepreneurs and are young enough, who are innovative, to find solutions to their challenge? Because there are a lot of government policies, there are a lot of mindsets that can change or make the difference. But the opportunity, some people tell you don't have the level playing ground or don't have the enabling environment. So what should be their way to guide themselves to putting that particular talent or initiative to bring out the financial stability for themselves?
Okay, first of all, let's get this right. The government actually is trying, but the government only creates an enabling environment. Now let's look at the core problems of instability for the young person. I've found out that life is governed by principles. A principle is 2 + 2 + 2 is 6. A principle is if you jump from a building, you will come down.
Okay.
If you're a pastor and you are a tongue-speaking pastor, if you jump from a building, you also come down. A principle is also, if you impregnate 24 women, you must wait 9 months. So the problem has been that most young people lack financial intelligence.
Okay.
They lack financial planning.
Okay.
And they lack financial discipline. So I can call it knowledge gap.
Okay.
Ignorance cannot be cast out. You have to solve it by knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a lot of people want to go into things without getting to the root cause. How do I study? You must study about something I want to go into. Let's say, for example, now you want to go into, career, entrepreneurship and all that. You need to read at least the number of books commensurate to your age.
Okay.
Let's say you are 24 years old or 35 years old, you want to actually, become financially stable. You must read at least 35 books in that space.
Okay. So when it comes to book reading, a lot of people feel, because I know we did a narration here from my colleague who covers education bits, and she looked at how people have actually delved into reading the hard copy, the soft copy. People still struggle.
The problem is
for
that,
information.
Yeah, the problem is that the academic curriculum does not actually solve the problem. It only gives you a way that you can be able to read and write.
Okay.
But somebody said schooling will only make you literate. It is investment in literature that secures your future.
Okay.
So whether it's soft copy or hard copy, you need to first of all solve the root cause is by investing in yourself. Because our young people, they are vibrant and they are very strong. So they want to do things, but there's a gap. And that gap is knowledge gap.
Oh, okay. Well, let's look at, for instance, we have in cities across Nigeria, from Lagos to Kano, Port Harcourt to Jos, young Nigerians are rewriting this whole narrative enterprise to see how but behind the energy and the ambition lies pressing concern, the financial stability, which I'm looking at. Okay, let's look at rising inflation. Rising inflation, limited access to credit. We also have the inconsistent power supply. We also have the issue of policy bottlenecks continue to stifle small businesses. Okay. So for you who's looking at people who want to look at how they can stand tall, because those are the limitations they have.
Okay.
So how do they go past these limitations?
Currently, Nigeria actually is in problems. Okay. We know what causes, what causes instability. There are several factors. I mentioned like 2 of it.
Yeah.
I mentioned low income.
Yeah.
Okay. Inflation, cost of goods, and everything. Is going up and all that. First thing that you must do is to know where you are at the moment. Know where you are going to and how do you get there. In the midst of the challenges, people are still thriving. I believe it's just mindset. Okay, there's some person that they just feel that I have to have everything right.
In quotes.
But an entrepreneur is tough. An entrepreneur is is someone that in the midst of unfavorable conditions, you will still have to thrive. Found a way to thrive. So we actually know that these things exist, but in the midst of things, you can still find a way to to actually thrive, because based on the knowledge that you have acquired in your space, you cannot be able to navigate. It's a very, very murky water terrain. It's not actually easy, because people are actually used to that space of salary.
Okay.
But when you are entering this space, it's a space of risky. It's risky, but life, as life itself, it's very, very risky.
Yeah.
So you must be prepared from day one.
Okay.
That you are entering this space, and I call it the odds against us are, in fact, the odds against the young people are many. Nigeria is a place whereby the terrain is very tough, but we are the most, the strongest people you can ever think of. Now, I would suggest partnerships.
Okay.
Basically for me, because everybody wants to do things on their own. Me. But in the scenario of the country right now, if you want to go and thrive and survive, you need to find a way to partner. Let's say, for example, I want to acquire a building of like 100 million. 10 of you just take 10 million, and then get it, and then send an MOU, and then of course that building actually belongs to you guys, and then you share from the property and all that. So people forget partnerships. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I like the fact that you mentioned partnership, because growth, like I spoke with my colleague earlier before you came in, we talked about every sector, or Nigeria is a multi-stakeholder affair where we need to do a collaborative effort to put out. People don't always like play the game, blame games. This one is this might be the cost for my wahala. This one is one that is, so I'm like, at some point you need to know the fact that it's a multi-stakeholder event or multi-stakeholder activity where it takes a collective effort. But let's look down to, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, over 70% of startups fail within their first 3 years.
Okay.
Largely due to poor financial management, lack of funding, and also inadequate business planning. So that question also throws. So a lot of people look at the issue around, how do I get to go past
that
level? Okay,
all right. So good question. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching us like across the globe, particularly the Nigerian youth, the solution is go for mentorship.
Okay.
You see, if your eyes is closed and you're heading from here to a destination, but somebody is grabbing your hands, you get to that destination.
Okay.
So we play down the role of mentorship in this scenario. And that's why sometimes you can be depressed. For what I've worked for me, over the years is, have mentors. A lot of people dive into spaces whereby they don't have mentors. And definitely you must fail. If they give Mr. A 10 million, they give Mr. B 10 million.
Yeah.
And you leave it, you actually harness, you mentor this person, and then this person, you leave the person. Yes, we know that in the first 5 years, but if this person actually has mentorship, there is a heavy chance that he or she will succeed.
Surviving.
Yes.
Okay.
Succeed.
Okay, so this conversation is getting more interesting, because I see the fact that if you have a guide, that's a new walk for you.
Yeah, it's
that's
the pathway.
The pathway. It makes the crooked way straight.
No struggle.
No struggle at all. But let's come on, and I hope that we're picking up all of this, we're taking notes, because I want us to strive and thrive and make a good meal. But let's look at the cost of many young people. Many young Nigerians have had to drive to success, but struggle with financial consistency. Okay. From your experience, let's look at, you've mentioned mentorship, but let's look at the core causes of the instability among the entrepreneurs, because mentorship makes it easy.
Okay.
But what are the core causes that makes people still unstable even when they have the money? Okay,
so I started with financial intelligence.
Yeah.
Then I mentioned financial planning.
Exactly.
Then I mentioned financial discipline. First of all, the intelligence is you want to acquire knowledge, and because you know that a lot of people, this is how money works.
Yeah.
There are 4 quadrants. Okay. The first one is the employee quadrant, the self-employed, the business owner, and then the investor quadrant. Now look at where financial intelligence plays in.
Okay.
You see a salary earner that have not gathered financial intelligence will just save some money and would decide to now want to jump from the employee quadrant to the investor, you will lose money. That is the reason why, a lot of people are losing money. But assuming you have first of all solved this problem of investing in yourself, know the basics, you will know that from the employee quadrant, if you want to go to the investment quadrant, you need to build a system first, a cash flow system first, because investments are volatile. So in case, all right, or all the stocks and blah, 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 they're volatile. In case you still have the business system driving for you, but because lack of financial intelligence, somebody will say, okay, look for anything that I can invest in, and then they jump from here to here, and then they lose money. So it's a repeating circle. Now, the financial planning, is very simple. Where so you must determine where you are at the moment,
and how you
I call it an X-ray. If you have malaria, you must go. If you have a problem on the rib, you have to check. If you have malaria, they need to do a blood test to know exactly what is wrong with you.
Okay.
So financial planning is okay, fine. So where are you at the moment? I would advise that that people should do calculate your net worth first of all.
Okay.
Where are you in the scheme of things? So what do? You bring out your assets, things that bring money to you. You bring out your liabilities, things that take money away from you. Then you subtract the two of them.
Okay.
So you subtract your liabilities from your assets, it would give you your net worth. If your net worth is minus 2, you know that yes, there's problem. But most people do, because if you do an X3 and then you said, okay, one rib has broke, you say, oh, I need help. Because in the pyramid of wealth, you might even be in a financial crisis. Because there's financial crisis, there's financial instability before you get to stability. Then before you now get to financial, financial stability, then you now have financial freedom.
Okay.
All right. So based on that X-ray that you did, you now know that I'm in a crisis because you have seen your balance sheet is in red. Okay. So when you know where you are first of all, then you now know, okay, so which vehicle are you now using?
Okay.
If you are using the job vehicle, it's very slow. Okay, because a car is a vehicle, bus is a vehicle, Lamborghini is a vehicle, private jet is a vehicle. Okay, so you now know which vehicle, and everybody is going to Lagos. You understand? Then you now know where you are, as in where am I going to, then which vehicle am I using? So if you now know, so okay, fine, I'm in the job circle right now.
Yeah.
Do I want to stay there for a while? Okay, or do I want to become an entrepreneur? Because at this other side of the quadrant, of course, is very slow, but at this other side, it's a fast track.
Okay.
It can get you to where you want to go very, very fast. You understand? So then financial discipline is the core right now, because people want to impress those that don't even like them. You want to get the latest phones. I don't have one single land. So in the scheme of things, you don't need to impress anybody, because I call it delayed gratification.
Okay.
There are some things that you don't actually, yes, you like it, but you don't need it. So you can see. So you can see that most young people, it is even one of the major core, because without discipline we are going nowhere. Warren Buffett can account for every single dollar.
Okay, I'm trying to take a deep breath and flow with all of this. I hope we're taking notes, because I want us to understand where we need to get stable, because we're all entrepreneurs and we want to stand tall and make our strength. And he's given us tidbits to all of this approach and how we can put that. But let's come to understand what just like you mentioned, you've actually guided us. Your platform teaches young people to save and to invest in small bits. How does that kind of approach help build long-term, which we've talked about, freedom, stability,
okay.
And so how does that long-term financial discipline, and how does that build rather a long-time financial discipline and confidence? Because I know you moved us from understanding how to just get the monthly stipends or the wages or salaries that come with you, and how you as an expert or a business owner should have the intelligence, financial intelligence, have the understanding of mentorship, to how to be that. But this approach, let's look at it, long-term financial discipline and confidence, because when you have money, you talk well, because obviously the money is too much, because we have to take some dollars.
Thank you so much.
So let's understand all this approach in terms of long-term.
Okay, all right. So what we did basically is, for us in the Diamond Project is we seek to, to build, an individual to be capacity oriented, that they can become their best version. Okay. And when they become their best version, all right, they cannot be able to be disciplined to do some certain things. So what we did was to actually partner with like a Philippine company, and so we harness their value, and from what as if from the connectivity of those values, we make money, right? Now, from the money we make, we have a mentorship academy. It's currently the largest in Africa, and that mentorship academy is we teach simple courses, financial management, money management, whereby we tell you that this is money principles. You make money, you manage it, and then you multiply it. But now there's a chunk, that a percentage that you don't touch. That percentage is for you to go and cough more money back. So it gives you a lot of confidence at the long run that you belong to a group, because most people are actually alone. Most young people operate alone. This is one of the big, the major, instability issues, that they operate alone. You cannot survive in Nigeria if you're alone. You can only thrive and survive if you collaborate. Okay. So in that collaboration, mentorship is being dished out. That anyone, the way you see money matters a lot. So if money comes to you, there is a portion that you have to save. So we encourage the savings in this space. And at the long run, when it's now time for you to now begin to now jump into that, that investment circle, we'll give it the go ahead. So you're safe.
Okay. Well, we'll take it that we're safe, and we're going to get that particular drive to that. But let's look at, we often hear the fact that you should save first before spending. But with the rising cost of living, is that realistic at all?
Well, my sister.
So that's it. So we often hear that, save, but you're looking at dailies, you look at expenses. I said on 2 days ago, I was looking at my daily expenses, and I asked myself, how much is even coming in? But they keep telling you save, but the cost of living is on the rise. So how do you?
Good question.
How realistic is this?
Okay, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the principle is still universal, right? Saving is still a principle. Okay. Now ask yourself this question: how come the akara seller near your house fund a child's school to even university level? Okay. So no matter the amount that you are actually earning, saving culture is still a principle. Okay. We cannot dispute that. But I like the but part. I want to get to let's understand that. But based on the current challenges right now in the nation, there are two things that you must do. Number one is to increase your income and reduce your expenses. But for me, I believe that reducing expenses actually yes based on budgeting anyway, but increasing income can be in several ways. Number one is this. Let's say, for example, you are actually earning 50,000 naira or 100,000 naira, and you work from like 8 o'clock to like 5 p.m. Yeah. You only have 8 hours, right? Exactly. 8 hours to exchange for income. So what do? In the business owner contract, you need to become an entrepreneur, right? So in the B quadrant, what you are looking for is OPT, other people's time, effort, and money. So what you need to do, for me, basically, I use leverage anyway. So what you can do is, so how can I have 50 persons or 100 persons who can be doing the same thing I'm doing, and I'm getting 50,000 naira from each of them. For example, now, okay, you're a chef, for example, and then you can cook. That is your biggest skill, right? Exactly. And you can cook from 8 to 5. So when you begin to now think, so how do I increase my earnings in this economy, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. How can I start a course, teach 20, pour myself out into 20 other chefs, and I begin to give them to, as people, they make 90%, and they give me back 10%. It's called leverage.
That's almost like taking tithes. That's taking tithes, because that's 10%. Okay.
No, it's called leverage. So then the number two is cut down your expenses, right? The major things that people spend money on: food, clothing,
Some people cannot do without food.
Shelton. Somebody said that must you eat 3 times in a day?
Some people cannot do it. Some people do 4. So that's it.
If your family is very large, call the people and say, from today we do 001, 101.
Oh my God. Well,
but you know, young people can actually increase their income. You cannot actually learn from it, because do you know why? If your income is constant, your responsibilities will begin to increase.
Okay.
Do you remember the days whereby we fly Dana Airline for like 14,000 naira? How much are you doing now?
Okay, so let's jump at this, because if you look at the zero, I don't before they come and chase me out of the studio. But let's look at it. The federal government and several states have actually introduced youth focus empowerment and empowerment schemes such as the NESL microfinance fund, UWIN, Bank of Agriculture, Youth Fund, and Smiden grants, and all of that. But how effective has this initiative been in promoting a lasting financial stability for you? Because you're talking about the issue of leverage and building capacity, people can save and have intelligence to all of that. But has this one the government put in place actually helped the young people?
Well, I will not lie. They're trying, but we need to do more.
Okay.
The truth is that for me, Bank of Industry has been there for a very long time.
Yeah.
And their major core assignments is to give out loans and all that. But I'm not really sure that there's enough awareness. I followed UWIN for a very, very long time.
Okay.
But we got it right at that point. But there are several bureaucracies and lack of sustainability.
Okay.
I'm not sure if UWIN I'm not sure if it's still involved. But UWIN was one of the first initiatives that they got right. Because young people now, the awareness was very, very high.
Okay.
And a lot of people were very, very interested. And it was straightforward. But immediately another government came into the picture, everything went down. So 2 issues, bureaucracies. Even if you want to say, okay, yes, Bank of Industries and all that, are you aware that where we can be able to take these young people very fast is NYSC, basically.
Exactly.
There are how many batches in a year? Batch A, batch B, batch C, and each of those batches have two streams. Now imagine the number of thousands of people that are churning into if they pass a law in the Senate that when you are finishing school, we already have a problem right now in the country, and that problem is entrepreneurship.
Yeah. So
let's encourage these guys to become entrepreneurs, because they will either enter the problem or become part of the solution. So a law can be passed that when you finish school that you are serving, you should learn some entrepreneurial skills and then venture into the deep. Then we're going to provide you the environment, the lead way out, the mentorship involved. Because, for example, if you are in tech, you are in e-commerce, you're this, and then you give them some certain amount of money and mentor them and ask them to employ a minimum of like 2 persons.
Okay.
In 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, we can be able to mitigate it, because by 2050, there's going to be an implosion.
Okay, well, you've heard from him, our experts, but let's quickly tell him thank you so much for being a part of the programming, because if we keep him talking, I'm sure he's going to, but we're going to hold him here. He has to give us part of it, because a lot of people tell you, we have people who have made the money, come and sit down and tell us all the blah, 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 and all that. But this is our wisdom series for you as an entrepreneur to put to rest, because they also started from somewhere, and they're where they are right now to give us that particular guide into getting our stability in place as young Nigerians. But let's quickly also tell you that financial stability is not achieved overnight. It begins with planning, like you mentioned. It begins with discipline. It also goes with knowledge. And as Nigerian young entrepreneurs continue to build the future, let's know that financial empowerment remains the foundation for sustainable growth and national development. Because when you're stable as a young person, we make the population, and we can only get the nation to get stable. Because I have a lot of people with the Japa syndrome. People are jackparing everywhere, but is that the solution? That's not it. We have a lot of wealth here in the country, and we can actually build on that.
Where the problem is where your money is.
Okay, so where the problem is, where the money is. Well, that's it. Once again, thank you so much to our experts who's given us tidbits to all of this, and we hope that the young people jump at this?
It takes time.
It takes time.
So they should calm down.
Okay, so long-term growth. Okay. Mentorship is long-term. It takes time. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to want to make money.
If you grow up,
you definitely
you remain there. But if you run up,
you actually drop down.
Crash land.
It's okay. We don't have to crash land because the economy needs to be stable for us as young Nigerians. I want to thank you so much to our international business developer, who is the founder of Winning Edge Movement, in person of Ambassador Peter Modupe. Thank you so much for being a part of the program.
Thank you for having me.
We look forward to bringing you, but this time when you're coming, you come with the dollars and the pounds.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Well, that's it. This particular segment of Global Morning, where we've had the financial experts give us tidbits, and I hope that we're taking this home with us. Like I told you, what's one discussion segments you would not want to miss, and I hope you had a good one with us. Well, you want to catch up with him, reach out to me first, because I'm getting the dollars and all that. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll bring you other lineup for the Global Morning Weekend. Please stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
you.